All right, so welcome back to Future Strong Podcast. And today we're going to get into something that I think a lot of people think about, pretty regularly, and that is the relationship between happiness and suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's kind of a deep question. I guess it's a very fundamental question that's been pondered for centuries, but we've got some really interesting source material to dive into today.
Yeah.
We've got some excerpts from Nietzsche's work on the problem of happiness, and then we have a piece called The Twin Birth of Happiness and Suffering. So I think
Yeah, those are great.
those are going to give us a lot to talk about today and hopefully give our listeners something to think about as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. I think this is one of those really core questions that if you can shift your perspective on it just a little bit, it can really have a huge impact on your lived experience.
Yeah, and one of the things that I find really fascinating about this topic is, we often talk about happiness like it's a destination, like it's somewhere you get to. But these sources that we're looking at today kind of suggest that pursuit of happiness might actually be the very thing that's preventing us from truly experiencing it.
Yeah, and I think Nietzsche really goes hard on that, right?
He did.
He suggests that constantly, striving for this kind of perfect state of happiness, it might actually be making us less happy in the long run.
Yeah, it's kind of like we become so fixated on reaching this ideal, this perfect state of bliss,
right?
That we end up missing out on all the other stuff that's happening.
Yeah, we're blinded to it.
Yeah, both the good and the bad. All the richness that life has to offer.
It makes me think of when you're so focused on looking at the map and you're trying to get to this destination, this point on the map that's supposed to be happiness, and you just totally miss all the scenery along the way, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. You're so busy looking at the map that you don't even notice the beauty or even the challenges, the things that are happening right in front of you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I think this idea from the twin birth of happiness and suffering comes in. It's this analogy that they use.
Oh yeah.
Where they compare happiness and unhappiness to twins. So they grow up together. They're always intertwined.
Yeah, they're inextricably linked.
Right.
And you can't have one without the other.
Exactly.
And the piece kind of argues that we have this, tendency to label suffering and unpleasantness as just inherently bad. And because of that, we're limiting our understanding of what happiness even is.
Yeah, and it makes me think, like if we try to avoid discomfort at all costs,
right?
Are we also kind of shrinking the range of experiences that we allow ourselves to have?
That's exactly it. Yeah. Like, I think about working out, right? You go to the gym, you lift weights, and you're putting your body through a certain amount of discomfort, a certain amount of stress. But because of that, your muscles grow, they get stronger.
Right.
And I kind of think of happiness in the same way. What if? What if we need to go through periods of discomfort, periods of even pain in order to grow our capacity for joy?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting way to look at it. It's like, you can't have the peak without the valley.
Right, exactly.
Right. And so then how do we actually, apply this to our everyday lives?
Yeah.
I mean, does this mean that we should just give up on striving for happiness altogether?
I don't think it means giving up on it. I think it's more about shifting our perspective. So instead of constantly chasing after it, like some kind of external thing, what if we focus more on cultivating contentment, cultivating acceptance? Recognizing that life has ups and downs, it has peaks and valleys, and they're both part of the journey.
Yeah. And maybe it's not so much about, denying ourselves joy or denying ourselves pleasure, but also not, shrinking back from those difficult moments either.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance. And it really makes you think, like you said earlier, if happiness and suffering truly are just two sides of the same coin, what does that tell us about the nature of a meaningful life?
Yeah, that's a big question, and I don't think we're gonna come up with all the answers today.
Yeah.
But hopefully this has given our listeners something to chew on.
Yeah, some food for thought.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks for joining us on Future Strong Podcast. And
yeah, this was a good one.
Keep thinking about these things, keep exploring these ideas, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
All right, bye.